Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to show you my Willy Wonka costume and talk a little bit about that. Now, the thing that got me interested in Willy Wonka is a candle company came out with some candles that were Willy Wonka themed. So I bought those, and then it just kind of triggered, buying more stuff. And of course, collecting Scooby Doo and The Wizard of Oz and Masters of the Universe and Spider Man and all the other things I collect. I said I could not collect anything else. I don't have any room for another collection. But of course, that's me. And this is me now. So that's kind of how it's going. And again, it started with those candles, and then with the explosion of the Willy Wonka experience in Scotland, that has like become such a big thing for me now. I'm just crazy about that. And I ordered this. This is an original copy of the original book, and it's one of the early editions, which I like that about it. And of course, I'm doing the miniature. I found this cool magazine at Walmart. And anyways, again, I don't have enough space for another collection, but I can't help it. I love Willy Wonka. I've loved the movie since I was little. And the costume that I'm going to work on today is one that I bought. Now, I normally make my own costumes, but this one looked so good. I thought I probably couldn't even make it better myself. Of course, I did buy this, and I have, of course, added things to it to make it better, and that's what I'm going to show you today. All right, so to start out with, um, the jacket is exactly as you see it. I only took it in a little bit on the sides. I didn't really have to change much about that. I did take that split up the back a little higher because it wasn't really as high as it should have been. So I split it up the back. And then I took it in on the sides and a little bit in the back so it'd have a little bit more of a shape because it was a little big for me. Um, and then the bow tie, let's see, there's the original bow tie. And that looks pretty good. But I did make my own. This is the one I made versus the one that came with it. It's just a little less shiny, a little bit different in color, and I kind of like the fabric a little bit better on the one I made. And then that's pretty much it. Now it came with a white shirt, which I also had to replace because it was way too big. So that's pretty easy just to replace the shirt. And then also the pants, they were way too big. So I bought me a new pair of pants for that. And the biggest change that I had to change was the vest. Now the vest was made really good. The pattern on it was pretty good. But the only thing, so see, that's the vest, and it looks good. Only I put some glitter on it. Now I don't know. Let's see if we can tell the difference between the two. I don't know how well that's really picking up, but this side has glitter, which you can sort of see. It's like a silver glitter detail between all the flowers, where this side doesn't have that. And of course, on the real one, he's got this glittery, silvery detail in between the flowers. I think it's supposed to look like a vine or something. So I've added that myself, just using like a paint on glitter stuff that I'd got at a craft store. Kind of it comes with it where you find the acrylic paints and stuff in the craft aisles. So I changed that, and then the hat. Let me see where the hat is. All right, so here's the hat, and it looks pretty good only because I changed it like completely. Now, this is not what came with the outfit. I had to make it look this way myself, and it's a little bit crude, but I like it. It looks really good when it's all comes together, and it looks really good in pictures. And that's the big part of this video, is me showing how I got this hat from what it was to what it is now. Um, so we'll check that out better. But and another thing about the vest, I did shorten it like several inches because it was just too big. I guess I could have just sent it back, ordered a smaller size, and it would have been perfect. But I had to pretty much change out the pants and the shirt, take in the jacket, and take up the vest. But if I had gotten a smaller size, then the jacket wouldn't have fit because I've got long arms, and I needed that size in order for those sleeves and things to fit right. But I'm long in places, but skinny overall. So I still have to have the big sizes, but I just always have to take them in. But anyway, the big part again is going to be showing how I fixed the hat. So that's what we'll start now. Okay, so I've got these little strips of cardboard cut out, and they're kind of like the little chipboard stuff. And I've just randomly decided how big to make those. I mean, they just need to go around the hat like this, and they overlap some, but I'm just going to leave that overlap there. And as far as the thickness this away, I don't know. I just eyeball stuff. There's no real measurements to this. But I've got 4 of these cut, and I'm just going to put 4 rings up there to make that top a little bit wider at the top than what it is at the bottom. And something else I want to say about this, I'm going to hot glue those strips around there, and I'm just waiting for that to heat up. But this came with the costume, and again, I said it was kind of cheap, and it is sort of a cheap little hat, but even with that said, it's a very nice looking hat. It looks good just as it is. But again, I'm sort of a perfectionist, and I just really want that hat to flare out. And when they mailed this to me, it was kind of scrunched up in the package. The brim was really scrunched up. And what I did to fix that, let me get it out here where you can see it a little bit. See, it looks pretty good now, but all I done was I actually ran this under the sink, like the faucet. I just let the water run over this, and it just sort of took my fingers and just smoothed it back out. It's some sort of felt, I believe, so it was easy to just wet that, and it's actually still wet. You can sort of tell that in the picture or on the camera here. It's a little bit darker than the rest of the hat, but just getting that soaking wet and working your fingers around it just brought it kind of back to its original shape. So when you order these little sort of cheap party hat things, you can always wet them because they're usually made about the same way. But that took care of that problem. So I've got that one ring on there, and I've just simply just glued it around there, as you can see. And I'm actually going to build up 3 more of those in the same spot, just trying to build that top out a little bit. Okay, so here's what it looks like, and I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I've already held this little piece of poster board up, so you've got to, whoops, well, you don't do that, but you have to hide, that big gap in here. So that's, again, what this poster board's for. Okay, so okay. What am I trying to say here? All right, so the point of the white was to hide the seam between the cardboard and the brown part of the hat. And that took care of that, seam. It kind of blended the two together. But now I've got this little bit of a dip where the poster board is meeting the brown hat. You can sort of see how that's not exactly tight around there. I should have cut that different, but instead of trying to rip that off and changing that, I think to hide the seam around here, I'm going to take my silver duct tape and just tape that. So the idea is to just make layers until you fade them in to where it looks even. So I'm just going to take that, maybe 2 layers of this, and then that should finish it out and make it ready for the felt. But I played with a piece of felt around it, and it looks like it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to do that off camera, but I'm just going to cut a piece of felt, and it's just going to be real fidgety and a lot of measuring to make sure it just fits perfectly the way it needs to. And then I will have to sew, uh, put a piece at the top. I still ain't got the top on there, but I've got to cut the cardboard piece and then cut the felt piece. And I'm going to sew the top felt to this part of felt here that's going to go around here. So I'll do all that off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll see how this looks. Hopefully it's going to work. It's going to be tedious and nerve-wracking doing the fabric sewing part, but I think I'll get it if I can just concentrate on it. All right, so I've got that put on and it looks pretty good. And I'm just going to go around the bottom. It don't matter if it goes all the way down because the ribbon will hide that. And I'm just going around the bottom with a stitch just to hold it down. All right, so I have decided to cut a piece for the bottom. Now it's not going to go like all the way up here. It's just going to fold right over the edge. Hopefully this will look okay, but I'm just going to bring it up to there and glue it down. Hopefully hot glue will hold that. I don't normally hot glue my costumes, but I'm hoping the hot glue will hold for this because I don't really want to sit a seam or like a stitch showing on the bottom part. I just want it to look kind of like that. So hopefully the hot glue will hold that down. I'm just trying to get it cut even to where when I fold it back, it'll look even all the way around. And now I've gone around the entire part here, just trying to blend better, uh, make it look good with the Mod Podge and the brown paint. And I'm hoping that will just give me a good, a better surface. Like when I spray paint it, maybe it will make it look the same, like that felt versus that felt. I just feel like the paint's gonna look funny when I try to spray paint it, but I think it'll look okay by putting the Mod Podge around here, because it's giving it like one solid coat, so it'll all have the same coat on it. I'm not gonna paint this, I'm just doing this down in here to try to help hide that crudeness of where I glued that felt around the bottom.